Hey, 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 what's up? What's up? Hey, hey, hey. Good morning. How are you doing? Yes, good morning. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. In fact, it's been too long since I did a video. I want to thank you for tuning in right now. Um, it's been a while, since I've been on YouTube. I made up in my mind to go ahead and just press that record button and have a conversation with you. How are you doing? Hope all is well with you. In today's video, I'm turning the attention to motivation, and I'm going to hop right into it because I don't know. I just have no time to waste when it comes to doing these videos. I'm not going to jaw jack you around for another minute or two. I'm going to hop right in today's topic. Who's on here? All right. So today I'm going to jump right into the attention of motivation and why is motivation important for entrepreneurs? What is the focus in your life right now is the question. And let me tell you something. I am, really big on this topic because I needed a whole lot of motivation. Been going through some storms in my own life, whether it's personally wise, business and finances, things happen, life happens. It can happen to the best of us at any given time, unexpectedly. I just needed an energy revamp. I just needed to reflect and take some time to nurture myself and to collect myself and spend some time doing some things for myself that I wasn't doing at first. And how many of us know that sometimes when life hits us hard or in unexpected ways, sometimes we can get into this frozen state, whether it's a frozen state of mind or, just feeling like, you've lost your motivation. And so what I want to ask you right now, what is the focus in your life right now? I can tell you, sometimes we just work, and we just keep going and we're on the go. And sometimes certain things will cause us to slow down. And I hope you can hear me, you guys. I am trying out this new equipment right now. So hopefully you can hear me and I won't have to redo this video. So, question is, let me turn off my notifications so I won't get any disturbances. What is the focus in your life right now? Some of us are experiencing, like I said, some pivotal moments in our lives, whether it's shifts in a relationship or your relationships with your family, worries of what happened yesterday. We tend to get stuck on yesterday's issues, worries of things that are going on today. I just want to make mention, there's a story going viral right now on the internet. And I just want to take a short minute to spread some awareness to domestic violence. We've got to create more awareness. It's a very serious topic, very deep issue. And I just want to give my condolences to the family of Ashley Lockhart, who lost her life at the hands of her lover or her boyfriend. Such a senseless act of, violence, and it's got to stop. I think more people need to have this discussion. Me, myself, I will be elaborating more on the topic of domestic violence simply because I myself was a victim of it. And, it's a very touching topic. It's a very serious topic. So we have got to get to the heart of toxic relationships and, things like that. So I just wanted to make mention of that real quick. Very, very, very heart-wrenching story. It really broke my heart when I read that story on social media. So I just wanted to bring that up. So as I was saying, things like that. We tend to worry about the things that are going on today, in the news, just on media. It's just a lot happening, and so we've got hard choices to make, hard choices that you may need to make in your life, etc. And as the world around you shifts and moves, it comes a time for reflection and flexibility, you know. And really the only thing that stays the same is change. And I dug deep into what motivation actually is, because I actually had to find my own motivation. So this is a heavy topic. It goes pretty deep, but I won't get in too much. I just wanted to, just come on here and just talk to the entrepreneur. And again, the only thing that stays the same is change. And what this is growth. Change is inevitable, and your peace, you got to have peace within. And it comes not from things that are outside of you, but it also comes from, which comes from within. If that makes sense. So what I'm saying is you have to build a foundation from within. It starts within. Inner peace, it has to be your own. It has to be your own main priority for yourself, so that when change does come, you will feel more grounded, if that makes sense, within yourself. This has to do a lot with your thoughts and your emotions. Your thoughts and your emotions, they need to be more productive and not working against you. And a lot of us tend to have this self-pity party, such as myself. I had a boatload of issues just hit me all at once. And I went into this self-doubt, self-pity and type of emotional downfall. And so you need to make sure your thoughts and your emotions they need to be more productive for you. Or else they can be real problematic. You will find yourself in a downward spiral. You will find yourself becoming mentally tired and drained, and you don't want that. And the first thing is to recognize that you're in this place. And so if you don't, it can be very problematic. Well, what you have to do as an entrepreneur, you really got to start asking yourself, is these thoughts and these emotions that I'm experiencing or I'm having, are they necessary? Are they productive? Are you being kind to yourself? Because if you're not being kind to yourself, it'll just be harder to be kinder to those around you. And you'll start playing the victim. You'll walk into that path slowly. You have to really analyze and evaluate the type of thoughts and emotions that you are feeling within. Not others around you, not the people or the persons who caused it, but for yourself. A lot of times you'll tend to criticize yourself and your decisions. You go into this self-pitying mode. You'll feel like you failed. You'll feel like a failure. And so, again, it's going to be harder to deal with other people if you cannot address this within yourself first. Okay? And this is things that I have to do. I don't have a mentor. Well, I don't have a sponsor. So I have to find ways within myself to do these things. Sorry about the lighting, you guys. I hope you can see me. But as long as you can hear me, that's more important, Lately here, like I said, I've had a series of events happen to me where I had to find ways to motivate myself when I was having a breakdown, from giving in and giving up. Things can really get the best of us from time to time, and it will distract you from your goals. It will distract you from your plans. It will distract you from having, a lot of times we tend to take the things we're going through and we get down and we're not being our best self. And so motivation is really the process that initiates, guides, and maintains um, goal-oriented behavior. Your behavior is either going to turn for the worse or for the better. Okay? It's really what causes you to act. You know, it explains why people will initiate, will continue, or terminate a certain behavior at a particular time. And I personally had to experience this myself. And I just, I chose to talk about motivation in this video because I found myself really needing and trying to find motivation and reasons to keep going. I had to find a way to nurture myself a lot more, during difficult and uncertain situations and times. It was just a time I really had to stop and I had to reflect. I had to consider really deeply, what is it that I want in my life versus what I don't want in my life versus what I think I should be doing in my life, the people I don't want around in my life, the negativity, how many positive people am I surrounding myself by, things like that. What you want should reflect who you are, period, especially in business, and I just found out that there's actually 3 types of motivation. And I've been studying this, motivation and stuff, because this is something I really needed for myself to pick myself back up. And one form of motivation is extrinsic motivation. Now, some of you may have never heard of it. Some of you top earners out there may have. Extrinsic motivation. And what that is doing an activity to attain or avoid a separate outcome. And many things people do each and every day is extrinsically motivated. Look it up. Okay, this is what I did. Okay, and so what it is, I'll just tell you. This is the psychological aspect of what drives you. Okay, for example, the promise of a promotion at work, or even the threat of losing your job. That can be a form of extrinsic motivation. Losing your income. Okay? The second form is intrinsic motivation. And I learned that this is an internal drive for success or having an internal sense of purpose. Now let that marinate. So, motivation is what a lot of entrepreneurs need, okay, believe it or not. And intrinsic goals are more focused on outcomes, which we inherently value, okay? So intrinsic motivation is when you're motivated by personal satisfaction or some type of enjoyment, instead of the external factors. And external factors can be like reward or punishment. Okay? An example is a mother's love. Okay? Going back to intrinsic motivation, a pure example is a mother's love for her child. That's intrinsic motivation. You get me? Because it's internal. Now, there's a third form of motivation that I found, and that's family. Now, you will find that a lot of leaders and motivators and influencers are preaching real heavily about dissing family, cutting family members off, toxic family members, people who aren't helping and motivating you. And after experiencing what I experienced, I disagree. Sometimes you need your family. You need some type of family to encourage you, I really don't know how to explain it, but that's a whole nother topic and video. I really didn't come on here to talk solely about family, but just to give some examples of what motivation really could become. I'm sorry, my nose. Ooh. And so family is a form of motivation being motivated by the desire to provide for your loved ones. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, motivation is very important. There's a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs in 2022, and that number is expected. The numbers are expected to grow even larger by the end of this year. Okay. And motivation is very important for entrepreneurs because it's what helps you activate your personal goals. And it also helps in self-development as an individual. Okay. So it's about the reasons why you're doing something. Or, basically the level of desire that you have to do something. Okay, let me give you a good example. A good example would be losing weight to get healthier, right? Or, okay, let me tell you, I've often pondered what is the difference between inspiration and motivation. I had to think about this when I was going through what I was going through. And I'm still not fully, fully there yet. It's a process. Healing is the process. Okay, it's not something that happens overnight at all. And so I've often pondered in my mind, what is the difference between inspiration and motivation? You hear people say, well, you really inspire me, or I was inspired by this or to do that, or, then you hear, well, I don't have, I feel motivated by this. So I had to really look into it, figure out what kind of situation, how can I help my situation myself and not rely on others, or whatever. And so there is a difference between inspiration and motivation. And believe it or not, but all of us need them both at some point in time in life. You will need them both. And many people, probably think they mean the same thing like I did. Well, I kind of knew it was something different. But a lot of people think they mean the same thing, but there's really entirely different concepts of the two to learn from. And it took for me to go through what I went through for me to really start paying attention to motivation. And so what I'm learning is motivation is often what comes from external sources, while, inspiration can come from within. It's the term motive comes from the needs or the drives within a person, what drives you. And inspiration is usually involving a process that's mentally encouraging, someone to do something, if that makes sense. And so motivation is important for entrepreneurs as it relates to how you pick yourself up when you fall off, when you have these life distractions. Growing a business means that you alone are responsible for its success. You're also responsible if you fail. So motivation is like a path. It's a path to change your way of thinking. It's a path to change your feelings about something. And even your behavior. It can be a way to humble you. It could be a way to have you do something different than you were before. It just depends on your situation. We all have our own unique situations. And so it will have a lot to do with your behavior as well. So even when unforeseen things happen, and that can happen anytime, it will cause you to think different. And motivation is very deliberate. Motivation is deliberate impulses or planned steps of action. Okay? It can be very short-lived and it declines over time. It's like you get this sense of resistance, right? And then, you get this sense of resistance. something you're not doing, but you feel you should be doing, so to speak. And this can be a really, really powerful energy that can be felt. You know, it can be felt. You might feel it in your chest. You might feel it harboring. You're harboring this energy. It can make you feel like you want to cry. You want to break out in tears. You want to scream and holler. It could cause you to feel certain ways. It's a very strong, powerful energy. And so I've learned that letting the tears out, letting the emotions out, acknowledging the feelings instead of running from them and stuffing them and hiding and pretending that everything's okay is not the way. Eventually, you will have to come face to face with those emotions. Cry like you've never cried. And you'll feel good, you know? Some of us are holding stuff in we didn't even know. We're harboring so much energy inside that needs to be released. You ever get that feeling like something's caught in your throat and you've got this knot, you can't hardly breathe? Those are emotions that you're harboring. You got to let them go. I don't care if you do it in a quiet room by yourself. Talk to God about it. You've got to release it. You cannot keep it in. This is the type of energy. It usually results in contribution. Okay? Motivation is what causes you to flourish in a positive environment. For example, and when I say environment, it could be your physical environment, your mental environment, your internal environment, the people around you. You know, it's about being the change. That's what motivation will do for you. It will cause you to be the change. Your reputation, your character, you know, how you behave and carry yourself around others. It's crazy, you know. Ooh, my little stuff. You know, being appealing to people's value systems is what motivation will push you to do. Trusting people and even challenging them. It could be the driving factor of your determination to lose that weight that you've been trying to lose and change your appearance, get a new look, change how you feel about yourself. Or it can be the drive for you to make more money or get that new job if you're looking for one. And when you do achieve these things, whatever it is, you know, we all, you know, whatever it is, you will feel happy with the results. You know? So what I'm saying is, and I feel really emotional right now, like I want to cry, but I'm not. You know, it's deep. But what I'm saying is you basically have to motivate yourself. You have to set new goals and work at achieving those new goals through self-imposed activities. These activities have to push you to want to do it. It could be an argument you got with somebody that you love and care about. It could be a disagreement, a dispute, a fight. It could be a misunderstanding. It could be anything that will drive and push you and motivate you to a new level. It just gets activated. It pushes you to want to go harder at the end of the day. After you've went through all the crying and all the emotional releasing and the revamping and reflecting and all that, you should feel pushed and motivated to level up. Be better and do better. Real talk. It pushes you to want to do it. Being inspired is more organic. It's organic from like deep inside, okay? It's like a calling. It's like more spontaneous, okay? And motivation is like being able to bounce back from setbacks. You're able to bounce back from those disappointments. You're able to bounce back from the setbacks and the disappointments that showed up. What is your bounce back game like? You know, motivation is important for entrepreneurs. Okay, don't ever forget that, because it gives you a sense of direction if you have no aim as you deal with life, as you move through life. Dealing with your friends, dealing with your neighbors, dealing with your family members, dealing with your colleagues, whatever it may be. You know, and there's going to be times you won't feel motivated to do anything. There was times I just sat around, lost, not knowing where to pick back up. What am I going to do? Somebody help me. I need some motivation. Yes, you may have your spouse or a sister or brother or mom or dad or grandma or whoever who can give you a few words of encouragement, make you feel good for a time, right? And that's all gravy. Support is support. Some people are not able to monetarily support you, but their words can lift you up. But guess what? At the end of the day, you have to feel motivated to do anything again, especially as an entrepreneur. You cannot quit. I had to tell myself this over and over again. You cannot quit. Fear is usually one of the biggest emotions that keeps lots of people from taking action. Fear. But what you have to do, you have to get going. You have to get going and moving forward again. Laziness is another big issue in North America. So many people these days, they don't want to work. But the Bible says, if man don't work, man don't eat. People have become so lazy that they're confusing it with boredom. They're confusing it with being bored. You're bored because you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything motivating. That's why you're bored. What are you doing that's motivating? Some of y'all doing the same routine every single day. Doing the same routine every day will eventually make you feel bored. It will make you feel bored doing nothing. You have no patience. You don't want to work. You want things handed to you. You want to celebrate other people's success that you had no part in. You do more entertainment than you should. You don't go for walks. You don't exercise. You don't meditate. Meditating is easy. You can just sit somewhere in a quiet room and think about the things you want. Or just don't say nothing. Just be quiet. Some of us got so much chatter going on. We can't even hear from our higher source, the guides, who is trying to guide you. Because you just got so much chatter. Every day you listening to music. Every day you listening to this. You just got to have all this noise. No wonder you have crazy in front. And you bored. Half of y'all's life is spent on Facebook. You ain't doing nothing constructive with your time. You don't get out the house enough, but you bored. You telling people you bored. Some of y'all don't even get enough sleep and wonder why you feel frustrated. Sometimes you just got to pause and take a nap. Go to bed early. Get off the phone. Lay down. Rest your eyes. Look at how a kid acts when they're tired. Just study how kids act when they're tired. Some of us know, especially some of us who've had kids, you know a tired kid is the worst kid to deal with. Some of us take in unwanted stress from others. all the time because they bored. You don't eat healthy foods at all. Always at McDonald's, always at Taco Bell. You just filling your body with all kind of toxins and unhealthy stuff every single day, frequently, without even detoxing. You're not even detoxing. I don't care what I go through. At least that's one thing I will do is detox. Matter of fact, I don't even know what I would do without detoxing, child. All these things are not motivating activities. You have to seek out positive role models and learn from them. That's what I had to do. I had to pick myself back up again. I don't have many friends because, some people I just can't deal with their stuff and what they got going on. Half of y'all ain't even talking about nothing meaningful. So I have to go online. When I'm not physically with people that I feel motivate and inspire me, I go online and listen to my mentors. You have to find positive role models and learn from them. You got to, if you want things to get better for you and for your family, you have to do it. If I could do it, you could do it. Even if it's just following them online and watching their content. I have several online mentors, and they have no clue they're even my mentors. They have no idea. If you want your life to change for the better, you have to observe or hang around more positive people. That's the key.